Everything good for your mind, body, and soul. The Core.
There's a good reason we all say that's it. The diet begins today on a Monday, and it could be because, according to research today in The Core, we weigh the most of any other day of the week on a Monday. Weekend splurges have a lot to do with it. But they say that according to their research, after following 80 men and women around and having them weigh themselves for an entire year, we weigh least on Friday mornings. Why? Because people are more likely to stick to their routine, eating and exercise-wise, Monday through Friday. So if you can at least do that, that's a great step in the right direction toward weight loss if that's your goal. That's The Core.
At 9:05 from the Healthy Trinity Traffic Desk, I'm Kelly Walker. We cleared that crash northbound 57 at Sibley, outbound Jane Addams at the McHenry County line. Your left lane is still blocked for the cleanup from an earlier car fire. On the Edens, 15 minutes in Kennedy, 20 minutes now from the airport downtown, saving 7 in the express lanes. 18 out to O'Hare. It's still a 30-minute trip inbound Eisenhower. Stevenson now pushing the 40-minute mark from 355. The Ryan, 20 minutes in from 95th. Now, your Weather Channel forecast with meteorologist Ray Stagit.
And we've got it again. Day 3 of the fog during the morning hours. Most of it within a few miles of the lake as visibility's right now anywhere between about 3/4 of a mile at O'Hare to about a mile at Midway. Elsewhere, we're seeing visibility's improving as you go west and north. And as we get into the afternoon, everybody brightens up just a bit. Could be some thunderstorms around. There'll be strays, though, afternoon and into the evening hours. A warmer 86 today, cooler on the lakefront. 70 tonight, 86 tomorrow. Slight chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon with a south breeze in. Better chances of some thunderstorms tomorrow night into Sunday. Those storms could be strong. Severe weather likely to the west and north. We're talking Wisconsin out through parts of Iowa and Minnesota. We'll keep an eye on it. Forecast brought to you, Elmhurst BMW. Right now, get 1.9% financing on all 2011 and 2012 certified pre-owned BMWs. Visit ElmhurstBMW.com. Chicago centrally located BMW Center. 60 at O'Hare, 64 at Midway, 62 on the lakefront. Next, 89 WLS. Traffic and weather first on the 5s at 6:15.
Get news on the hour, the half, and when it breaks on WLS. Continuous coverage at WLSAM.com. I'm John Dempsey, 89 WLS News.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Garden Sense, airing Sundays from 7 to 8 a.m.
Now, on Chicago's talk leader, Bruce Wolf and Dan Proft from 89 WLS.
Is that from the musical Cabaret? I don't believe so. Shia LaBeouf, Dan Proft. Star, you probably don't know this. You don't follow the movies nowadays. He's in the Transformers series.
Yeah. Eagle Eye. Yeah, I've seen this.
Is that? I never saw that. Shia LaBeouf was arrested or taken away for in a Broadway production of a Cabaret. He wasn't in Cabaret. He was in the audience, and he was smoking in the theater and yelling, and they had to escort him away. So I guess he thought, what good is sitting alone in his room? Come and disrupt the play. I'm gonna disrupt Cabaret, old chum. I'm gonna disrupt Cabaret.
I sang all that. He really did.
He did. Which I don't find disruptive. I call that audience participation. Haven't you always wanted to, when you're in watching a play, I just want to get up and I want to be in the play.
What? I think that adds to the show. I think it adds to the show.
So Shia LaBeouf, that's
people
pathetic.
come to the show come to the theater for the audience participation normally.
That is.
It's like Rocky Horror Picture
That is
Show.
pathetic that Shia LaBeouf did that. And apparently he's got a recent history of some problems like that, and he's a troubled soul.
Wasn't he
I wouldn't let him anywhere near the
Chicago?
Golden Gate Bridge right now, even if it does have a safety net underneath it.
He was involved in some kind of a disturbance at a Walgreens on Michigan Avenue when he was shooting a movie here.
How about that?
So,
he probably was upset that they don't serve malts like they did in the old days. Yeah. So that's Shia LaBeouf. Meantime, did you hear Bill Clinton? Boy, the Clintons keep stepping in it because they're trying to become the everyman, and you just not trumpet the fact that they have a lot of money. But Bill Clinton said this yesterday.
Can you understand as a political matter that could strike people as being out of touch?
Yeah, but she's not out of touch, and she advocated and worked as a senator for things that were good for ordinary people. And before that, all her life. And the people asking her questions should put this into some sort of context. I remember when we were in law school, she was out trying to get legal assistance for poor people. I remember she was working on believing in paid leave for pregnant mothers in the 1970s. So I think if you don't give the most adept answer to a question because you immediately remember what you felt like the day we left, as opposed to what it looks like to everybody else now who's having trouble.
This is another stem winder from Clinton.
Do you believe Dick Cheney is a credible critic on these matters?
No, that's not that one either. Anyway, Clinton had said...
spin the wheel again.
Yeah. We love listening to Bill Clinton. I did not... if you're going to give me random Bill Clintons, how about I did not have sex with that woman? Depends on what the meaning of is. The one I'm looking for is where he says that he bought 14 Swiss watches at $500 a piece.
When the president bought, I don't know how many you bought, Mr. President, 20, 30 of these watches, whatever it was.
My group did. I bought 14 of them that much.
Oh, you really did?
Yeah. And in 2 different runs. I bought 5 at Christmas and 9 when I was there, and I just give them away and hope that I'll make you more customers.
So he buys them at $500 a piece. And these are the Clintons crying poor.
Well, really? I mean, this is where we get a little bit far afield. He spent $7,500 on Swiss watches. Who cares?
You care if he's trying. They're trying to make themselves out to be just.
They're not making
just
themselves.
Like you are.
Well, they're not making themselves out to be poor now. They're doing this false Horatio Alger story of where they came from. The boy from Hope, and then what their status was when they left the White House and so forth.
Nice to make money off. Government is, can be very lucrative to people. So yesterday, the Supreme Court rebuked the President of the United States, 9-0 decision, saying that when the Senate decides it's in recess, that's when it's in recess, not when the President decides it. So his recess appointments to the National Labor Relations Board, void, were prohibited by law by the Supreme Court. Nice rebuke.
Yeah, it's been interesting. In all of these cases where the Supreme Court has rejected the administration's position, there seems to be a pattern, which is President Obama is either trying to increase his own power, he's trying to increase the power of the federal government, or he's trying to curtail the rights of individuals, their rights under the Constitution. And it has been interesting, the run of defeats that he has suffered at the hands of a court that, is not exactly stacked with conservatives. And the decisions yesterday, both 9-0 decisions, that's pretty comprehensive rejection of somebody who, was a dizzying constitutional lecturer, as I recall.
The other decision, of course, found unconstitutional Massachusetts law that kept abortion opponents, pro-lifers, at least 35 feet from clinics because, they have the First Amendment right to assemble and to protest and
or provide sidewalk counseling, which is more the case.
Yeah, how come the Tribune, when they write the story, calls it abortion opponents? Why don't they call them pro-life? Because I'm reading this right out of the Tribune.
Good question.
It's the Tribune. This is the same Tribune, of course, that the other week had another big Friday story. 4 out of the 5 so-called hardened terrorists, not so hardened. That seems to have not gotten a lot of traction, that little narrative that the Tribune proffered.
Bastardizing the language.
Yep. Make it work for you. Coming up at 6:18, World Cup fever. Cure it.
Bruce Wolf and Dan Proft.
The real problem Democrats have is they have an enthusiasm gap with Republicans.
It's interesting that you're even having a hard time pronouncing enthusiasm because it's such anathema to you.
It's tough to be enthusiastic about Illinois politics.
Bruce and Dan, weekday mornings 5 till 9 on 89 WLS.
Want to know the secret to having enough money in retirement? Hi, Rick Edelman here. A secure retirement starts with figuring out how much you'll need. Until you know that, you really have no idea how much you should be saving or where to invest. It's really quite simple. Well, for me and my colleagues anyway, because we're financial planners. So let us do the math for you. We'll consider your age and life expectancy, your spouse's too, and help you make the right assumptions about your future spending needs, inflation rates, tax rates, and investment rates of return. We'll factor in outside income sources like pensions, social securities, and inheritance, and also your attitude about leaving money to your kids and grandkids. It's your retirement, so make sure yours is what you want it to be. Let us help you at Edelman Financial Services, just like we've helped thousands of people just like you over the past 25 years. Call us at 888-PLAN-RIC or visit us at rickedelman.com. That's ricedelman.com.
Advisory services offered through Edelman Financial Services, LLC. Securities offered through Sanders Morris Harris, Inc., an affiliated broker-dealer. Member FINRA, SIPC.
Bettenhausen Chrysler Jeep of Orland Park has the hottest deals. Take bonus cash or 0% financing on select new 2014 Chrysler models. Attractive lease options available on select 2014 Jeep models, including the all-new Cherokee. Plus, your 100% complete satisfaction guaranteed every time, every visit. Let General Sales Manager Mike Sorensen and his staff change your mind about car buying. Visit us at BettenhausenAuto.com. Your best car buying experience starts here. It's better at Bettenhausen.
At 6:15 from the Healthy Trinity Traffic Desk, I'm Kelly Walker. On the outbound side of the Jane Addams Tollway at the Boone-McHenry County line, we still have the left lane blocked for the cleanup from an earlier truck fire. On the Edens now, 20 minutes from Lake Cook Road to the Kennedy, 20 minutes from O'Hare to downtown inbound. You'll save 7 in the express lanes, 18 out to O'Hare. Still 32 minutes on the inbound Eisenhower Stevenson, about 40 minutes now coming in from 355. The Ryans, 25 minutes in from 95th. Weather Channel forecast for today, dense fog advisory in effect until 10 this morning. We'll reach a high of 87 degrees, cooler by the lake. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, chance of thunderstorms, and a high of 86. Sunday, more storms possible, highs again in the low 80s. It is foggy and 60 at O'Hare, 63 at the lakefront. Traffic and weather first on the 5s. Next report at 6:25 on 89 WLS.
John Cass and Lauren Cohn.
It's interesting you bring up, what's going to happen with Rahm Emanuel because, he's definitely taken his hits.
$7 million behind him. Tony Preckwinkle, who's got the sensible shoes and the tweed librarian look, but doesn't seem to me to have the steel in the backbone.
Cass and Cohn. Weekday mornings 9 till 11 on 89 WLS.
The Father's Day special promotion was such a hit, it's been extended by popular demand. You can get a free MyPillow when you buy one of the MyPillow classics. So, give the gift of a good night's sleep with 2 pillows for the price of 1. Here's how you do it. Enter the promo code WLS at MyPillow.com or call 800-616-7173 and mention WLS to get 2 MyPillow classics for the price of 1.
MyPillow's made in the USA, won't flatten, stays cool. It's machine washable and dryable and has a 10-year warranty. MyPillow also comes with a sleep on it for 60 nights, love it or return it guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. If you don't love it, you can return it. But just like thousands of others, we know you're going to love it. So take advantage of this special extended by popular demand by entering the promo code WLS at MyPillow.com or calling 800-616-7173, 800-616-7173, and mentioning WLS to get 2 MyPillow classics for the price of 1.
Go to MyPillow.com and enter the promo code WLS or call 800-616-7173 and mention WLS for this special offer.
With mounting debt and an unpredictable economy, many of you may be concerned about your current retirement plan. Do your current financial accounts only work one way? When the stock market is going up? Most people have made money during the recent up market. But what will your statements look like through the next stock market downturn? Will you lose your hard-earned dollars again? More importantly, are you willing to risk losing your money again now that you've finally recovered your losses from 2008? You are exclusively invited for a financial review at no cost to you. Don't miss this opportunity to learn how you can protect your principal from stock market volatility and never outlive your money. Due to limited availability, this exclusive opportunity is limited only to the first 10 callers. So call right now, 800-353-1314. Learn how you can lock in your gains now while you have them. Call Goldstone Financial Group for your financial review today. Call 800-353-1314. That's 800-353-1314.
89 WLS.
Mark Levin, 9 till midnight, weeknights, on Chicago's Talk Leader, 89 WLS.
Hey, the World Cup. I confess I did watch about a minute of the game yesterday because I was at Peggy Kaczynski's annual golf outing at Cog Hill to support St. Joseph's Hospital. And there were a lot of people in the grill room there taking a look at the TV, off and on. So, which normally you're not watching a soccer game there. You're not watching the Chicago Fire. You won't over the next 4 years. But there was some interest there. I don't think I would have been among the 18,000 to go to Grant Park. But
well, maybe for the next match against Belgium, you can join the other soccer fans.
You know what? I do watch all of the Stanley Cup when the Blackhawks are in it. Now, I don't watch any of the regular season, but I think I would watch the U.S. if they won. I'll watch some of the next game. That's the knockout round. It's one and done, right?
Yeah, probably Team USA's last game, so you may want to catch it
against Belgium. That's such a small country. How could we not, in this entire continental United States, especially with the open borders that we now have, how could we not? Compose a team.
Yeah, right.
I think something I ate in the grill at Cog Hill is finally coming up on me.
It's vivid, thank you.
Excuse me. Hey, that's a great radio moment in the 90-plus year history of WLS.
Dan's sharing a studio with you, not me.
Bruce Wolf's angina attack.
Well, it was a very exciting game yesterday. 1-0. You're on pins and needles the entire time. It was kind of a delayed reaction to that. No, so I kind of lost my train of thought right there.
USA.
Belgium.
USA.
About Belgium.
Yeah, Belgium is just. Come on. It's such a small country.
No, it's trenchant soccer analysis. Belgium, come on.
Well, really?
Yeah.
How big is it? Johnny Carson.
Right. Yeah, okay.
There's nobody in Belgium.
Can we talk about a sport that Americans actually pay attention to?
Oh, yeah, the Bulls had a draft.
How about the NBA draft?
Yeah, this guy, he's a comer. He's a coach's son. He's one of the greats at Creighton. Set all kinds of records. College player of the year, but they still need Carmelo, right?
I think it's an okay pick, although I'm not a huge Doug McDermott. I'm a huge Doug McDermott fan as a basketball player, but I don't think at this point he is actually more than a spot-up shooter. So I don't know. They need.
No, he plays defense.
They said he has the capability to play defense. It's a big difference, and I'm sure Thibodeau will get him in shape. But it was interesting. I was just glad to see Shabazz Napier get drafted so that he could get a square meal.
Yes, remember that?
Yeah, the point guard for UConn, who after they won the championship said. In arguing for college players being paid, said he sometimes goes without food. He can't afford food. He goes hungry, which is a lie. And but now that he's going to make tens of millions of dollars, maybe he can get a square meal.
Didn't you notice when he was calling a timeout like Chris Webber did with no timeouts left in the game? He actually called a timeout because he had finally just run out of energy and actually went into the stands and grabbed somebody's nachos and ate them.
Right.
Don't you remember that? That's why they lost. Now, wait, did the Heat drafted him, right?
Yeah, well, the Charlotte did. They trade him to the Heat.
Okay, so the Heat have them. Hey, you think LeBron will maybe cut, his $22 million salary a little bit so Shabazz will have I think if LeBron, Chris Bosh, and who's the other guy? Dwayne Wade. If they would each chip in like $3-4 million, this guy could have a few square meals.
I think they may do that, but I think it's going to be for Carmelo Anthony's salary meal budget, not Shabazz Napier's.
Is there anything telltale about the fact that LeBron said he was very happy with the Heat's pick, or is he just trying to show everybody else in the world that he just may stay with the Heat? So he's trying to ratchet up the offers that he's going to get elsewhere.
I don't think he's trying to get offers. I think he's going to stay with the Heat, and I think he's trying to orchestrate a deal to, number one, get the draft pick he wanted, a point guard, Shabazz Napier, distributor, and then also get Carmelo Anthony. And by the way, it's interesting, too. It's not quite here, but it's not far away. The Milwaukee Bucks had the best moment in their basketball history since Lou Alcindor yesterday when the Cavs picked Andrew Wiggins number one and they got Jabari Parker. So
I like the guy on the
Simeon's very own.
Like the guy that's Levine is his name from UCLA. It was picked by the Minnesota Timberwolves, and it looks like on the screen that it's announced he's saying bleep me.
Well,
he's that upset.
That is the appropriate response to being drafted by the T-Wolves, but Jabari Parker is going to be a great pro.
Text from 702. Nice angina monologue, Bruce. Appreciate that. Hey, we got to get off the sports hunk right here. It's not our raison d'etre. Got to talk a little politics. Can you politicize this in any way, shape, or form?
Politicize the NBA draft?
Hey, here's how we do that. NLRB.
Donald Sterling not present.
Oh, the Denver Broncos.
No, what happened was the Supreme Court yesterday said that the president overstepped his bounds with his recess appointments to the NLRB. Is this going to affect the decision to permit Northwestern players to unionize?
It may, because some of these cranks that he wants to put on the board of the NLRB who believe that college students are not students, and college athletes are not athletes, they're employees, maybe they will not be confirmed by the Senate.
Rob on the Stevenson?
Yeah, hi. I was just wondering what your take is on Timmy Federette that was signed with the Bulls, I think, late last season, right before the playoffs or during the playoffs, and we don't see much of him playing. I was just wondering what you thought about his talent. And
Jimmer Fredette from BYU via Sacramento. I think he's a great offensive talent. The problem is he can't play defense, and so if you can't play defense, you're not going to play for Thibodeau.
You know, and you're listening to a guy who actually... Did you play for Bennett Academy?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you did.
Why do you think they signed him?
I think they were looking for some offensive punch for the playoffs. And, so you see what happens. I mean, that's what DJ Augustine provided it, essentially, and then played defense as well.
We're talking about bit players on a team that's going nowhere.
Oh, really?
Thank you.
Not necessarily when D. Rose is back. And you want to talk about Belgium Soccer Club.
Hey, we got a chance. We got a chance. You won't be excited if we get into the round of 8. Do they call it the Elite 8? Yeah. How high has the United States ever gotten? Have we ever gotten to the finals? I don't think so.
I think we've only beat 3 European teams in the history of the World Cup. Huh?
Yeah, but we saved them. If they had to provide for their own military, maybe they wouldn't be able to have the luxury of all this, 6 weeks of vacation where they get to go to soccer camp every year.
Holiday.
It's unfair to us while we're working our tails off to save their heinies at least twice a century.
USA! USA!
At 6:26 from the Healthy Trinity Traffic Desk, I'm Kelly Walker. Outbound Jane Addams Tollway, that car fire cleanup has now been officially cleared. So we're just dealing with travel times now in the Edens, 15 minutes in Kennedy, 20 minutes from O'Hare to downtown, saving you 6 in the express lanes, 22 back out. Eisenhower, 35 in from Thorndale. Stevenson, 40 in from 355. And the Ryan, 20 minutes now from 95th. Traffic is brought to you by McDonald's. Escape every heat wave with a refreshing ice or hot McCafe coffee. For a limited time, get a small for just $1. Only at McDonald's, a la carte only. WLS weather sponsored in part by Lindholm Roofing. We're under a dense fog advisory until 10 this morning. We'll reach a high of 87. It'll be cooler by the lake. Tomorrow, chance of thunderstorms, high 86. Sunday, more storms possible with highs in the low 80s. Right now, we have fog in the area, 60 at O'Hare, 63 at the lakefront. Traffic and weather first on the 5s. Next report at 6:35 on 89 WLS.
Names you know.
They got protesters out there. They want $500 an hour.
First you tell them how much you'd like, and then you pull ahead, and then you actually have your protest.
People you trust.
They did ask if you wanted to supersize the protest.
On Chicago's talk leader.
I see that they're actually removing somebody now, and they're taking him off to jail.
Letter from a McDonald's jail cell. It's like a whole bouncy ball pit full of kids in there, too, bouncing around.
89 WLS.
This morning radio gig starts so early, I just don't get a lot of sleep, so I've got to maximize that sleep. And fortunately, I've got a new MyPillow topper. I love it. Here's how it works. It's got a proprietary support foam layer that helps rejuvenate achy joints and muscles. It's got space-age thermophase technology that automatically adjusts to your individual temperature. It's non-allergenic. It's machine washable and dryable. Here's how you get one. Call toll-free 1-800-616-7173 or visit MyPillow.com. Use the promo code WLS. You get free shipping and 2 gifts just for ordering.
MyPillow Topper's advanced comfort control technology delivers a great night's sleep at a fraction of the cost. So experience the deep healing sleep you deserve with the world's most comfortable topper, the MyPillow Topper. Experience MyPillow Topper risk-free for a full 60 nights. With this exclusive limited-time offer, you get free shipping and 2 free Go Anywhere pillows. That's an $80 value. All you do to get it, call toll-free 1-800-616-7173 or visit MyPillow.com. Use the promo code WLS for free shipping and those 2 free gifts just for ordering.
Hey, America, we need to have a little talk. We've got more food than we know what to do with in this country, yet 17 million kids in America are struggling with hunger. Makes no sense. Luckily, the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks has volunteers gathering excess food and getting it to hungry kids. They're kind of like food angels. Hey, become a food angel yourself by supporting Feeding America in your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. We can't do it without your help. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Getting your child home safely.
Tap your views together 3 times.
Is just a click away.
There's no place like home.
But making sure your child is in the right seat is just one of the steps down the road to safer travels.
I don't know how it works.
Find the right seat for your little one's age and size. There's no better way to get home safely. Know for sure that your child is in the right seat.
How can I ever thank you enough?
Get all the facts at safercar.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
89 WLS.
Coming up, more on the president's recess appointments. It is 6:30 on 89 WLS. Time for the news with John Dempsey.
Mayor Emanuel has to stand for re-election next year, and now this morning, Chicago Teachers Union President Karen Lewis is telling the Sun-Times she is seriously thinking about mounting a formal challenge to Mayor Emanuel. She says, I'm a little sick of the mayor, and I don't see anyone stepping up. Wheaton Congressman Peter Roskam has now formally lost his House leadership position. Louisiana Congressman Steve Scalise, who beat Roskam in the race for House Whip, has picked North Carolina's Patrick McHenry as his deputy whip, which is the job that Roskam had. Scalise is also repaying Peoria Congressman Aaron Schock for his support in the race against Roskam. Scalise has named Schock to his whip team, which is responsible for drumming up votes in the GOP caucus. In Iraq, prominent Shiite leaders pushing for the removal of Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki. They say that he cannot lead an inclusive government. Great night for the Bulls. They come away with Creighton's Doug McDermott, the College Player of the Year. Denver drafted McDermott, but then traded him to the Bulls for their 2 first-round picks. Traffic and weather next. 89 WLS News Time, 6:31.
Rokon and Richard Roper.
Southbound lanes of the Dan Ryan closed right now.
There's lawyers right now. They're putting ropes down, trying to scale down and talk to these people.
We are getting some reports of several ambulances there on the scene.
There's more lawyers with neck braces than ambulance workers out there.
Roe and Roper. Weekday afternoons, 2 till 6 on 89 WLS.
Mom, Dad, keep a close eye on your kids' caffeine intake. That's the message from doctors who say caffeine affects young boys and girls quite differently. While the differences are slight before puberty, after puberty, they become significant. Caffeine intake decreases heart rates in boys and increases blood pressure in girls. Doctors also caution caffeine isn't just found in coffee, but also in sodas and other drinks popular among teens.
Every day, I wake up at 5 a.m. to give Dad his medicine. Every day, I wake up at 5 a.m. to give Dad his medicine. At 6 a.m., I make his breakfast. Every day, I wake up at 5 a.m. to give Dad his medicine. At 6 a.m., I make his breakfast. At 7 a.m., I shower. Every day, I wake up at 5 a.m. to give Dad his medicine. At 6 a.m., I make his breakfast. At 7 a.m., I shower. I start laundry at 8. At 10, we go for a walk. Every day, I wake up at 5 a.m.
For those dealing with the daily struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community with experts and other caregivers for advice, tips, and support. Together, let's help each other better care for ourselves and the ones we love. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Chances are there'll never be an emergency ever again. But just in case, let's talk about a plan.
Okay.
Who is going to grab the go bag?
What's a go bag? It is a bag we do not have that is filled with things we really, really need in an emergency.
Guess we won't have to worry about it then.
Well, this is great. I am so glad that we don't have a plan.
I know.
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency. Who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Starbucks says it won't be long before you can recharge yourself and your phone in their stores. Wireless charging is starting now in San Francisco, then moving to other big cities next year, they say. They're putting magnetic charging pads in tables. All you have to do is set your smartphone on top. No electricity, so no worries about spilling. New phones come with the technology. Older ones will need adapters when you're going mobile.
On the next episode of Recipes for Disaster.
So we've got our neighbor Paul coming over tonight for a barbecue, which is why I prepared a delicious lemon rosemary steak marinade from my special collection of old family recipes. To make sure the steaks are extra, extra, extra tender, I left them marinating out on the counter overnight, just like Nana used to.
Maria may mean well, but without food safety, it never ends well. Always thaw or marinate foods in the refrigerator at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below, or you could make your friends and family really sick. Maria's neighbor Paul didn't think twice about the steak he ate until he was presenting his company's financial forecast to the board. That's when a sudden bout of food poisoning made it explicitly clear that profits weren't the only thing on the rise. Watch Recipes for Disaster at foodsafety.gov. You'll learn the right steps as Maria does everything wrong. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Stay connected with the free 89 WLS app. Listen practically anywhere on your smartphone or tablet. Award-winning news, frequent traffic, and accurate weather. Then hot topics from Bruce and Dan, Cass and Cone, Rush, and Rowan Roper. Anytime, anywhere. Get the whole story. Download the free app now at WLSAM.com or at your app store.
At 6:35 from the Healthy Trinity Traffic Desk, I'm Kelly Walker. On the inbound side of the Edens, it's 16 minutes coming in. Kennedy now, 25 minutes, both directions this morning. Inbound, you'll save 6 minutes in the express lanes. Eisenhower, 35 in from Thorndale. Stevenson now, 40 minutes from 355, 27 in from 294. The Ryans, 20 minutes now from 95th. Now your Weather Channel forecast with meteorologist Ray Stajic.
Well, it's fog first, and then thunderstorms that'll threaten as we head through the upcoming weekend. If you are traveling north and west through parts of Wisconsin and Iowa, possibly even on into Minnesota, big storms, maybe some tornadoes over the upcoming weekend. We have some stronger storms in our forecast, possibly by Sunday. Deal with the fog this morning. Dense fog advisory till 10 for lakefront counties, even into northwestern Indiana. We'll brighten it up a little this afternoon. A hit-or-miss storm possible. Warmer, 87. It stays cool on the lakefront, or cooler. 70 tonight, tomorrow, slight chance of thunderstorms, 86. Scattered thunderstorms coming overnight tomorrow night into Sunday. Sunday's highs, low 80s. Forecast brought to you by Elmhurst BMW. Right now, Lisa New 2014 BMW 320i sedan for only $319 per month. 36 months with no security deposit. $37.94 due at signing. Visit ElmhurstBMW.com today. 60 degrees at O'Hare, 64 Midway, 62 on the lakefront. Next, 89 WLS. Traffic and weather first on the 5s at 6:45.
Get news on the hour, the half, and when it breaks on WLS. Continuous coverage at WLSAM.com. I'm John Dempsey, 89 WLS News.
Coming up today on Rowan Roper, science explains why you hate happy people on Facebook.
Plus, Chicago is under attack again. My review of Transformers: Age of Extinction.
Rowan Roper, afternoons 2 to 6, 89 WLS.
Speaking of Facebook, I guess Facebook and Google are kind of lily white and Asian as well, according to their own studies.
Yeah, that's right. So the kind of what they promote, both really both left of center companies from a sensibility perspective. Let's not forget Mark Zuckerberg did the favor of hiring Robert Gibbs off of Barack Obama's hands to be his comm director at Facebook. And, of course, we know Google helped make Al Gore a very wealthy man. Eric Schmidt, the former CEO, liberal, as is Larry Page and Sergey Brin, the founders.
Yeah, but you need the Asians. I mean, they're the tech guys.
Well,
what are you going to do? Who's going to come up?
I think you should hire based on talent and aptitude, which seems like what they're doing, which is probably why they're successful. So it's another case of liberals not believing in theory what they actually do in practice.
Look, these algorithms just don't materialize out of nowhere. They don't spontaneously generate. You need some Asians to come up with them. Or some MIT guys, whatever color they are.
That's right. You need people that are adept at math. And
that's the problem.
Know how to program. Yes, right. I understand.
But they should set aside a number of positions there
that are just for demographic purposes only.
Well, yeah, for diversity's sake.
Yeah,
right.
Interesting. On Google and Facebook, there's this Harvard paper called "The Cost of Friendship," talking about VC companies and examining VC companies, venture capital companies, and their investments from over about a 30-year period, and it concludes that investors tend to co-invest with those possessing similar characteristics, but and with investors who are of the same ethnicity, in companies same ethnicity, headed up by people with the same ethnicity, but they turn out to be 25% less successful than investors with different ethnic backgrounds. So when you invest because of familiarity instead of perhaps who's building the best mousetrap, even if it's less familiarity on an ethnic basis, you're less successful. So there's more evidence to support the idea that should look at merit and not non-behavioral characteristics like race or gender.
What is this story right now, speaking of looks, that ugly people tend to donate to the Occupy movement?
Yes, and this is...
And how do you determine whether somebody's ugly? Because aren't donations in the eye of the beholder? Who's to say that a $1 donation isn't as great as a $1 million donation, depending on who it came from?
Well, this is a Stanford University study, and it is, in terms of your question about how do you determine who's ugly, you ask them to identify. Self-identified ugly people.
Oh, my goodness.
People who self-identified on the continuum of attractive versus empathetic. People who describe themselves as attractive are 2 times more likely to donate to the Occupy or Occupy Wall Street movement than those who do not. And this was a comparison between attractiveness and empathy. So I don't know what the takeaway from that is exactly. I mean, Occupy Wall Street is sort of an ugly movement, but not in the physical aesthetic sense, although sometimes it is.
If that is a woman, it does look like she was beaten with an ugly stick.
But, so that's the Stanford University study.
And closing out our potpourri right here, it looks like Mayor Bloomberg, or when I was listening by accident to Michael Savage yesterday, by accident, because I was driving back from Cog Hill from this golf tournament, and I enjoyed it. He called him Blumenberg, Blumenthal, whatever.
Michael Savage is Jewish, isn't he?
Savage sounds very Jewish to me.
I don't think that's his. I don't think that's his given surname.
Yeah, it sounds like a Sephardic Jewish name.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, he was purposely trying to sound like an anti-Semite, or actually just what he was saying was, I don't really know what that guy's name is. I mean, that's syndicated humor for you. So, but he said all his good works down the drain, so to speak. But he did make an interesting point. He said it's the aesthetics. The liberals don't like people carrying big gulps around. It's not the nutritional value. I think it has to do with that they're nannies and don't want poor people to get fat too.
I think
it's just limited to the aesthetic.
No, I think it's a nanny state play as well, and of course it's all about intentions, though emotions, because 1 32-ounce drink can be substituted for 2 16-ounce drinks, can't it?
Mike from Antioch.
Yeah, good morning, Bruce and Dan. This is Mike in Antioch. And at the
as advertised.
Yeah, oh, thank you. At the bottom of the hour, a gentleman from a homosexual group was criticized.
You got my gaydar going right here. I have a feeling this is going to be an anti-gay statement. Go ahead, Mike.
It's not anti-gay.
Of course
it's a matter of truth. Why is he intolerant of Bruce Rauner or any other conservatives' opinions of being different than his? He expects us to be tolerant of his behavior and his lifestyle. He should be tolerant of ours. And Bruce Rauner should be free to donate to whoever he wants.
Yeah, and then this guy doesn't want Bruce Rauner elected. I mean, you can understand that.
Yeah, he didn't, I mean,
can't you, Mike? That he
Well, the truth is that the homosexual population is only 1.5% of the population, not 10% like the liberals would like to have you believe. Also, that according to the CDC in 1989, is that homosexuality has a higher mortality rate than those who smoke a pack a day. But who's crucified? The smokers, not the homosexuals.
Okay. Mike, so you're still going to vote for Rauner, right?
Absolutely.
All right, there you go. Okay, thanks, Mike. Appreciate the call. What? Sorry. You're making gestures all over the place. I got distracted from his point.
I guess his point was that those who preach tolerance should practice tolerance. That's my takeaway.
Hey,
but Bruce Rauner has no social agenda, though, so he keeps repeating, which is, of course, not true. And I understand the political positioning, but it doesn't serve him well politically. It doesn't insulate him from the attacks.
He's not going to get any of the gay...
just referenced, and it's just not. It's not honest. It's not the way to address the issue. Instead of saying that, when say I'm not going to focus on these issues, but let me give you the first principles, the values that inform my decision making. Because if decisions come from the General Assembly and are put on my desk as governor, I'm going to have to deal with them. And I can't outsource it for a referenda.
His friend Pat Brady, our friend Pat Brady. And if we're all friends with Pat Brady, how far apart can we really be? But his friend Pat Brady, the former Illinois GOP chairman, says, hey, this issue is going to go away in a year anyway because it's going to be federal law. He's already predicting that the Supreme Court is going to make a gay marriage universal.
Well, he's
probably right.
He's probably right. That's where the trend lines are.
So let's not worry about Bruce Rauner. Let's worry about the country.
At 6:45. From the Healthy Trinity Traffic Desk, I'm Kelly Walker. On the inbound side of the Edens now, 16 minutes in Kennedy, 25 minutes both directions this morning. Inbound, you'll save 6 minutes. Eisenhower, 40 minutes coming in from Thorndale. It's 45 minutes on the inbound Stevenson right now, 30 minutes headed in from the Tri-State Tollway. The Ryan, 25 minutes from 95th. Your Weather Channel forecast for today, dense fog advisory until 10 this morning. We will be cloudy today, a high of 87, cooler by the lake. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, chance of thunderstorms, high 86. Sunday, more storms possible with highs in the low 80s. It is 60 at O'Hare, 63 at the lakefront with fog put on those low beams. Traffic and weather first on the 5s. Next report at 6:55 on 89 WLS.
And now it's time for the Wall Street Journal report. Here's Gina Cervetti.
And good morning. If you want to buy a cool car for less than $18,000, KBB.com has put together a list of cars that it calls cool. At the top is the Mazda 3, followed by the Hyundai Veloster, and then the Kia Soul, all 2014 models. If you use Foursquare, then you may have to start paying a fee. The startup says it'll charge some businesses to access its database of retailers, restaurants, other local venues, as it looks to make money off of our social media check-ins. Consumer sentiment is on tap for this morning, otherwise quiet in the way of economic data. U.S. stock futures are on the negative side this morning, and crude oil futures down a couple pennies to $105.82 a barrel. I'm Gina Cervetti on 89 WLS.
The Core.
Everything good for your mind, body, and soul. The Core.
Sure, we'd all be swimsuit models if we could devote hours to the gym every week like they do. But according to Dr. Michael Mosley, he says that the wave of the future is the 20-second workout. That's right, I said it right, 20-second workout. He says it could be the key to not only losing weight, but also, and this is big right now, protecting you from diabetes. He himself was diabetic and a bit overweight when he started this new trend, which he says has returned him to normal. The basis of it is high-intensity training. How can you incorporate this? Say you jog for 20 minutes 3 times a week. During that 20-minute time frame, incorporate 10, 20-second high-intensity sprints. They say the results will astound you. That's the core.
What could you do with an extra $500, $1,000, or even $1,500 per month? How would that change things for you? Would you buy a new car, pay off bills, or just feel a bit more secure about your retirement? What if I told you there may be a way to make your dreams a reality? I'm talking about trading and investing in the market. Now, before you say, no, that's not for me, just hear me out. I want to invite you to a half-day trading course so you can check this out. And right now, if you call in and mention offer Radio 50 here at Online Trading Academy, we'll comp the course, buy you lunch, and even send you home with a free video training guide. I promise you, you'll go away smarter than when you came in. You could even learn how to profit when the market is up or down. Call us now while seats are still available at 888-984-TRADE. Use offer code Radio50. That's 888-984-TRADE. That's 888-984-8723. 888-984-TRADE.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Uh-huh.
Well, I noticed dry brush where we wanted our bonfire and suggested we move it. Then Smokey Bear showed up and hugged me.
So you noticed some wildfire hazards and moved your bonfire to a safer location.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Smokey, all right. Just letting you know you did good.
Hey, guys, that was Smokey. You owe me 20.
Well, congratulations, and thanks for calling. There are many ways to prevent a wildfire. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college, which ends up making the future better for all of us. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but as you grew up, things changed. Teaching just didn't seem like the best option anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Interesting and innovative things are happening in teaching today, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
89 WLS.
So, I'm here to tell you about an amazing new acne treatment that even Proactive says is better than Proactive. It's called Proactive Plus. It's totally new, totally advanced, and it even looks different. You know, millions of people have turned to Proactive, and it's the #1 name in acne care. But Proactive Plus, it works faster and better than before. And it's better for your skin, too. Proactive Plus is their best, most effective solution ever. The plus means more. You get more medicine to heal blemishes and prevent breakouts, plus more solutions to acne problems like dark marks, dryness, redness, and oil. So if your goal is a flawless complexion, be one of the first to try Proactive Plus 100% risk-free. Get fantastic results or you pay nothing. Guaranteed. All of today's callers will also get 2 free gifts with their 60-day risk-free trial.
Call 1-800-453-3374. That number once again is 1-800-453-3374.
89 WLS. What happens next? Happens here. 89 WLS.
Bruce Wolf and Dan Proft. News story from the No Duh section. The Vatican says that Catholics don't really follow the teachings on sex all that much. Is this news to anybody?
Let's see. Barack Obama won a majority of Catholics in 2008, and he narrowly lost the Catholic vote, I think 52-48 to Romney in 2012. USA! Yeah, I think the Catholic population writ large in America, there are a lot of challenges there.
Yeah. And I don't think, I have heard that the priests don't even have sermons in which they, preach chastity or against birth control or things like that.
Well,
that's true
there's
too?
a lot of topics to cover. This is not the sum total of the Catholic Church, much as the left would wish it were. But that what priests sermonize about varies widely from church to church.
Okay.
So there are conservative Catholic parishes that where priests are very happy to take up the issue of these moral matters.
So we're not that concerned about the Hobby Lobby decision coming down on Monday from the Supreme Court, which is about whether
religious freedom,
religious conscience have to provide contraception on their insurance policies.
Again, it's about religious freedom. It's about freedom of conscience. That's the fundamental issue. So I would suggest that I'm concerned about it. I think people should be concerned about it. I mean, if you believe a nation that was founded by people who are fleeing religious persecution, if religious persecution is okay, that seems to be a fundamental walk away from the founding of the nation, doesn't it?
I would think so. Karen Lewis had said she was walking away from any run for the mayor of a city of Chicago. She said that on John and Lauren's show just a couple of months ago. But now there is talk that she's considering running for mayor because what we need is an even more liberal administration at City Hall.
Yeah, Preckwinkle, as a lot of people suspected, doesn't seem like she's amping up to make the run, and so there's a vacuum there. Even as unpopular as Rahm Emanuel is, you can't beat something with nothing. The sad thing is that Karen Lewis and Rahm are two sides of the same coin, as we've talked about numerous times. So think about this. For example, the Rahm/Chicago Teacher Union run Chicago public school system announcing 1,100 layoffs. Scott Walker and his Wisconsin state government, what's occurring in Wisconsin, an uptick in teacher hiring. There's a tale of two different models of governance. Chicago keeps choosing the same one. Other states are choosing different ones. Rahm and Karen Lewis are just arguing about who's the central planner in charge. Neither are proposing paradigm shifts, and it's unfortunate because there's an opportunity for something different in Chicago, but it doesn't seem to be presenting itself at this stage.
What does the average Wisconsin teacher make?
I don't know what the average salary is.
Got to be. What does the average Chicago teacher make?
CPS is $80,000.
Yeah, okay.
Not including benefits.
I bet you it's a lot higher CPS than. So all they care about is their salaries, their pensions.
You mean they don't care about their brothers and sisters who are being laid off?
No. No.
That's not what their rhetoric would indicate.
No. If they cared about teachers.
If I can't believe Rahm Emanuel and Karen Lewis anymore, who can I believe?
If they cared about teachers, they'd all resign and let the Chicago Public Schools hire anybody, including all those teachers who are on the waiting list to teach at the Chicago Catholic schools, who would take about half the salary. So they don't care about teachers. They care about themselves, which is fine. If I am not for myself, how can I be for the students?
At 6:56 from the Healthy Trinity Traffic Desk, I'm Kelly Walker. On the Mount Edens, 16 minutes in Kennedy, still 25 minutes coming in from O'Hare, saving 6 minutes in the express lanes, 30 minutes back out. Eisenhower, 40 minutes coming in from Thorndale, still a 40-minute trip in Mount Stevenson right now. The Ryans, 25 minutes from 95th. Weather Channel forecast for today, dense fog advisory in effect until 10 this morning. We'll reach a high today of 87. It will be cooler by the lake. Tomorrow, slight chance of a thunderstorm, high 86 Sunday. Some more storms possible for Pride Parade and highs in the low 80s. We have fog in the area, 60 at O'Hare, 63 at the lakefront. Traffic and weather first on the 5s, next report at 7:05 on 89 WLS.
The Core. Everything good for your mind, body, and soul. The Core.
Forget the myth that you need less sleep at night as you get older. In fact, sleep might be even more important than ever in a new study. Researchers for Temple University School of Medicine believe that chronic sleep disturbance could speed up the onset of dementia and Alzheimer's disease in older adults. Factors like insomnia, overnight work shifts, and other health conditions could be factors. Sleep-deprived people will have problems in their brains. They'll have problems learning or forming new memory, and they'll have problems with their cognitive functions. There's good news, though. There's something that you can do about it. Improve your sleep by doing things like keeping your room cool and dark, use breathing techniques, and if you can't fall asleep, Make sure you get out of bed.
Hi, I'm Sam Jackson. Cancer will strike more than 175,000 kids worldwide this year alone. This includes infants, children, teens, and young adults. The likelihood that teens and young adults will survive cancer is far greater when treated by pediatric oncologists. Survival can depend on treatment from experts in childhood cancer and a commitment to collaborative, groundbreaking research. To learn more, go to stbaldrix.org or standuptocancer.org.
When Dad needed help getting around, I became his driver. Any daughter would do the same. But soon enough, he needed help doing more things, and it was up to me to be his personal shopper and financial manager, too. And before I knew it, Dad moved in with me. So I became his cook, his personal assistant, his physical therapist, and even his nurse. When I started taking care of Dad, I didn't realize all the roles I'd have to play. But no matter what, I know I'm still his daughter.
We understand the many roles you play. And to help, we created an online caregiving resource center. At aarp.org/caregiving, you can find resources and connect with the caregiving community. Together, we can better care for ourselves and the ones we love. Visit aarp.org/caregiving to learn more. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The home of John Cass and Lauren Cohn. Weekday mornings 9 till 11. This is Chicago's talk leader, 89.
WLS, Chicago.
A Cumulus station.
7 o'clock in Chicago. Good morning. I'm John Dempsey. 89 WLS News is Chicago Teachers Union President Karen Lewis thinking about running for mayor. Here's what she said April 24th when she talked with John Cass and Lauren Cohn on WLS.
No, I'm not a politician. I'm a school teacher.
Now Lewis tells the Sun-Times she's seriously thinking about challenging Rahm. Meanwhile, Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle refuses to rule out running against Emanuel. She talked yesterday with Bill Cameron and other reporters.
Are you ruling out running for mayor, or is that door still open?
I'm running for re-election for the job I have. That's what I've always said.
But you wouldn't rule yourself out for mayor, would you?
I think I've answered the question.
So she still won't say that she is not going to challenge Rahm. Governor Quinn says he has no intentions of testifying before a legislative commission about that scandal-laden anti-violence program he started in 2010.
I have no intention of doing that. I defunded that particular program several years ago. We abolished the agency that was running it. I'm very angry about the fact that that program didn't work out the way it's supposed to work out.
7 former Quinn officials have been compelled to appear before the Legislative Audit Commission next month. Critics say the Quinn program was a slush fund designed to buy black votes for Quinn in the 2010 election. President Obama's approval numbers have been slipping. A recent ABC News poll finds more than half of Americans have lost confidence in his ability to lead the country. The president talked exclusively with ABC's George Stephanopoulos aboard Air Force One, blaming Republicans in the House.
What I do worry about is that right now we've got a Republican Party that seems to only care about saying no to me.
Bizarre story from the north side of Chicago. Was it child abuse or tough love? Chicago police have charged a man and his relative with kidnapping the man's 15-year-old son, abusing him, and keeping him handcuffed to a table saw in a basement. However, other relatives say the men were trying to practice tough love and keep this boy from running with gangs.
My uncle, to protect them, he did what he could, and to prevent him from going out at night and avoid him dying out in the street.
Diane Bermeo talked with ABC7. She says her uncle was trying to keep his son from running with gangbangers in the Albany Park neighborhood. Quite a crowd in Grant Park yesterday watching that big TV screen coverage of that soccer game between the U.S. and Germany. 20,000 people. That's the estimate, according to the city of Chicago. In the NBA draft, the Bulls traded for College Player of the Year scoring machine Doug McDermott of Creighton. He was the consensus National Player of the Year, averaging 26 points a game, shooting nearly 45% from three-point range. And how about this? Chicago native Jabari Parker, now an NBA player. Here's Ryan Burrow.
He went second in the NBA draft Thursday.
The Milwaukee Bucks select Jabari Parker from Duke University.
Jabari Parker, who was born and raised in the South Shore neighborhood, graduated from Simeon Career Academy on the city's south side and played one season at Duke before heading to the NBA. He told ESPN he was excited that he'll be playing not far from his hometown of Chicago.
And I'm really excited. You know, I get to represent the city of Chicago, but also the city of Milwaukee. And the whole Midwest, those Great Lakes, Lake Michigan, it feels real good. But I'm also honored for a team to pick me.
His father, Sonny Parker, was also an NBA first-round draft pick. He was picked by the Golden State Warriors in 1976. Ryan Burrow, 89 WLS News.
Cubs beat Washington 5-3. White Sox lose to Toronto 7-0. Traffic and weather next. 89 WLS News Time 7:04.
Rokon and Richard Rover.
Look who just stepped into the studio, Sting! How's Chicago treating you? Everything good?
Chicago always treats me well. I always feel very much at home. I'm not complaining. I've made a pot of money. But for younger musicians trying to make a living, you can either make a killing in this business, but you can't make a living.
Rowe and Roper. Weekday afternoons, 2 till 6 on 89 WLS.
A hack attack in Australia left Apple users without access to their iPhones, iPads, and Macs. The hackers used Apple's Find My iPhone feature to remotely lock the devices, then send random messages demanding up to $100. But it didn't affect users who set passcodes on their gadgets because you can't change those locks remotely. A reminder, perhaps, to set those codes on whatever you use when you're going mobile.
This is Savannah Guthrie with an urgent story developing all across America. Despite having more than enough food available, there are nearly 16 million kids struggling with hunger. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks engages local communities in solving hunger by collecting surplus food, giving hope to hungry kids. But they need your help. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
At 7:05 from the Healthy Trinity Traffic Desk, I'm Kelly Walker. Going to be a busy weekend as we officially kick off into festival season. We have the Old St. Pat's largest block party going on in the West Loop tonight. Summerfest kicks off in Lincoln Park, and we also have Pride Parade going on Sunday. Travel times on our roadways right now, light. 15 minutes on the Edens Kennedy, 25 minutes now from the airport downtown. You'll save 5 in the express lanes, 30 minutes back out, 35 minutes travel time both ways on the Eisenhower Stevenson, 45 minutes now from 355 in the Ryan, 20 minutes from 95th. Traffic is brought to you by Bettenhausen Automotive. Your best car buying experience. Start at Bettenhausen Automotive of Tinley Park and Orland Park. Your complete satisfaction guaranteed every visit. Let their team of world-class employees change your mind about car buying. Visit BittenhausenAuto.com. It's better at Bittenhausen. Now, your Weather Channel forecast with meteorologist Ray Stajic.
Fog dealing with areas along the lakefront with a dense fog advisory until 10. Now, looking at the first couple of glimpses of the visible satellite picture, kind of the best to look at the fog. It's not as widespread as it's been the past couple of mornings, but it still goes a few miles inland. Everybody should brighten up this afternoon as we get warmer, up to 87 with some showers, thunderstorms of the isolated variety trying to get through here. It will be cooler on the lakefront this afternoon, but the rain chances are going to start going up. Not tomorrow. Still just a slight chance of thunderstorms, 86 degrees on a south breeze. But as a warm front pushes north and then we get a cold front closer to us by tomorrow night and Sunday, the chance for stronger storms going up in temperatures in the lower part of the 80s. There will be severe weather out across areas in Minnesota, Wisconsin, maybe even Iowa with heavy rain and possible tornadoes. We'll see if that translates east toward the end of the weekend. This forecast brought to you by Cabela's. Don't miss Cabela's 4th of July savings now through July 6th. Stock up on everything you need for fishing, camping, barbecues, and more. Shop in store or online at Cabela's.com. 62 at O'Hare, 65 at Midway, and 63 on the lakefront. Next, 89 WLS traffic and weather first on the 5s at 7:15.
Get news on the hour, the half, and when it breaks on WLS. Continuous coverage at WLSAM.com. I'm John Dempsey, 89 WLS News.
Now, on Chicago's talk leader, Bruce Wolf and Dan Proft from 89 WLS.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Top of the morning, it's a bright and sunny day. Sunny day in the Republic because yesterday the Supreme Court by a 9-0 margin rebuked the President of the United States on recess appointments. It's a small victory. As a matter of fact, considering the fact that the Senate is controlled by the Democrats right now and the Republicans have no recourse at the moment, it's not going to really amount to anything substantive, but it seems like it even sets the table for John Boehner's lawsuit representing the House of Representatives, saying that the president has overstepped his bounds with executive fiat.
Yeah, as do another dozen cases the Supreme Court has ruled on over the last 2 years and ruled against the administration's position in those cases. And the NLRB recess appointment case does have substantive merit, and the substance of it is, upholding the Constitution and the separation of powers, which is something that has been blurred by this president.
Now, I believe the decision was a little bit blurry to one Carol Costello of CNN yesterday, because she was talking to, was it a legal
Jeffrey
expert?
Toobin.
Oh, Jeffrey Toobin, of course. And here's how that colloquy went.
So as usual, Jeffrey Toobin, this is a more complicated decision than just not black and white, right? Because I guess you could say the president lost, but did he?
Yeah, he lost. No, there's no doubt.
Well, he lost in this particular case, but overall, right?
Well, no, he lost overall.
It's 9-0.
It was, but that could be interpreted as a win, right? No, that can't be.
He can't make recess appointments right now. As a matter of fact, the Supreme Court said when the Senate decides it's in recess, it's in recess.
This is great.
The president can't decide it's recess like when you were in grade school and at 10 o'clock in the morning you got 10 minutes. Oh, they're on break right now. I can sneak in an appointment here. You can't do that. It was even a liberal, Breyer, who wrote the opinion.
I don't even understand the line of questioning from Carol Costello. That's much more interesting. Wait, you're talking about a particular case. Then Toobin says, yeah, he lost. Clearly lost. Oh, well, yeah, in this case. But overall, right? Overall what? What are you talking about? Overall, no, he won the presidency twice, if that's what we're talking about overall. Yeah. But what is this conversation?
I think looking at the evidence in a light most favorable to Carol Costello of CNN, I would say that he has won, because when you're fighting this hard, tooth and nail, over something like this, and the president has so much chutzpah and has made so many of these executive fiat type decisions, you're basically backed up against the wall. When you've got Boehner having to file a lawsuit to curb the president on the DREAM Act and on all the revisions to Obamacare, in a sense, the president is winning because he's gained so much turf. I think I get it a little bit.
This reestablishment of the separation of powers and the balance of power between the three branches has obviously resonated with the president, because he did ask Congress yesterday for $500 million to fund Al-Qaeda in Syria. So at least he is going to Congress and requesting those funds, understanding that the Congress controls the purse strings, and not just writing a check to Al-Qaeda terrorists in Syria.
Hey, Mike, the city worker, with his de facto radio show that goes across the dial, has deigned to talk to us right now. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. Good morning. You've got the best news guy on the radio, John Dempsey, but
Thanks,
I don't know why your station is sending him to cover Tony Bullwinkle. She's not going to run. She's a stalking horse. They didn't run Forrest Claypool against her for county board, so she's going to freeze everybody out until she's going to keep everyone guessing. Princess Lisa and Sheriff Doe will be standing on the sidelines. No one can get signatures or raise money, and Rob's going to get a free pass. Well, he is not going to run.
Thank you, Mike. That may be the case. I tend to agree with Mike that she's not going to run, but I don't think she's much of a stalking horse when she's indicating now in not even July that she's unlikely to run. Which story out yesterday on that. And in terms of Lisa Madigan or Tom Dart, you think they have the guts to take on Rahm? Tom Dart didn't have the guts to take on Rahm when it was an open seat and he had substantial backing. I don't think either one of those individuals was ever going to take on Rahm. So the question is, can anyone dislodge the C-suite executives that finance Rahm from Rahm, then you could have something going in the city.
What's the difference between Lisa Madigan and Rahm Emanuel?
One wears a skirt.
And then the other one's the daughter of
That's right.
the Speaker of the House. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you. See, we're like Abbott and Costello, not the Carroll and Costello. Coming up at 6:18, World Cup fever.
Moving at the speed of life.
By the end of 2016, our military will draw down to a normal embassy presence in Kabul.
This is Chicago's talk leader.
I thought it was shocking. This is the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
89.
This is what we did in Iraq.
WLS.
There are two types of people in this world, those who clean out their gutters and those who don't. The ones who clean out their gutters know it's the dirtiest, smelliest, most dangerous household chore on the list. And the ones who don't, just don't do it. They ignore the problem and hope it goes away. Never mind, there's plant life growing out of their gutters. No matter which type of person you are, you need a Leaf Guard gutter system. Its patented one-piece covered design allows water to flow in and keeps the leaves and debris out. It comes with a lifetime no-clog warranty. If it ever does clog, Leaf Guard cleans it for free. Right now, Leaf Guard has a very special offer just for scheduling your free gutter analysis and learning about the Leaf Guard system. You'll get a free dinner for two. There's no cost, no obligation offer, just for letting Leaf Guard show you how they can make your life a whole lot easier. They'll treat you to dinner for two. You heard me right. They'll give you dinner for two. Call today, set up a free in-home estimate, 630-343-5094, 630-343-5094, or go to their website at gutterschicago.com.
Leaf Guard.
CertaPro Painters is proud to support Homes for Our Troops, a nonprofit organization dedicated to building specifically adapted homes nationwide for severely wounded veterans. CertaPro Painters will donate a portion of all 2014 proceeds toward a home constructed in Homer Glen, Illinois for Air Force Captain Anthony Tony Simone. For donation information, call 1-800-GO-CERTA or visit CertaPro.com. Give back to veterans who sacrificed so much for our freedom. Join CertaPro Painters and support Homes for Our Troops.
At 7:15 from the Healthy Trinity Traffic Desk, I'm Kelly Walker as we get ready to head into our weekend. No, we're not shutting down the Kennedy Expressway, but there is a lot going on. Festival season definitely in full swing. The Old St. Pat's largest block party is this weekend, as well as Summerfest in Lincoln Park. We have the Pride Parade on Sunday, and in Grant Park, Music Fest kicks off in the suburbs. Displaying Summer Fling is also going on again. Mass transit, definitely your best option. Eden's 15 minutes in Kennedy, 25 minutes now from O'Hare to downtown. Inbound saving 5 minutes, 30 minutes out to the airport. Eisenhower, 35 both ways. Stevenson still 40 in. The Ryan, 25 minutes now from 95th. Your Weather Channel forecast today, dense fog advisory continues until 10 this morning. We'll get up to 86 today. It will be cooler by the lake. Partly cloudy tomorrow, chance of showers, highs in the mid-80s. Sunday, storms possible, highs in the low 80s. Right now, 62 with fog at O'Hare, 63 at the lakefront. Traffic and weather first on the 5s. Next report at 7:25 on 89 WLS.
Everything good for your mind, body, and soul. The Core.
Eating chocolate for science. Would you jump at that? Oh, I know I would. However, fortunately, scientists have found a way to extract all the fun and the sugar and the fat out of that little prospect. They really are studying, though, the antioxidants and the cocoa flavonols and stuff. That is such a good thing about dark chocolate that can help our health. Now, they do make a good point, saying that all that good stuff is destroyed during the candy making process. So if you think you're getting all that from a bag of M&Ms, well, you're kidding yourself. But you can shop for super high levels of cocoa and dark chocolate that you might find in the baker's aisle. Hey, it's better than nothing. It's still chocolate. That's the Core.
Hi, this is Ed Conarchy, mortgage advisor with Cherry Creek Mortgage, based right here in Chicagoland. Do you have the lowest mortgage payment possible? I'm here to make sure you do. Every dollar you save can then go to your retirement savings, your rainy day fund, or used to pay off other debt. Not sure you currently have the lowest mortgage payment possible? I offer a free, no-obligation mortgage review to let you know. To take advantage of this free mortgage review, go to my website, reviewmymtg.com. That's reviewmymtg.com. I will personally review your current mortgage, and we'll find out. Don't delay. Mortgage rates are trending higher. Again, if you're not 100% certain you have the lowest mortgage payment possible, request my free mortgage review today at reviewmymtg.com. That's reviewmymtg.com. Cherry Creek Mortgage Company, NMLS number 3001, is an equal housing lender and an Illinois residential mortgage licensee, and I'm licensed in Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan, and my NMLS number is 215698.
89 WLS. Stay connected with 89 WLS. Download the free WLS app to your smartphone or tablet now at WLSAM.com.
It is 7:18 and 36 seconds in Chicago, and we're how many hours and minutes away from the game against Belgium in the World Cup? Tuesday, right?
It's a Monday. Or it's Tuesday. July 1st.
If it's Tuesday, this must be Belgium, I believe. Is that the... Yeah, it's Tuesday. I'm pretty sure it's Tuesday. Is that game going to be on during a normal time? Because I can't take off work again like I had to yesterday in order to watch the game.
I think it's 3 p.m.
Oh, okay. But, well, that's right in the middle of Rowe and Roper. How am I going to do that? I'll watch with the sound off, and I'll listen to them. So, are you into it now? Because now we're in the knockout round. This is one and done. This is the Sweet 16. There's no tomorrow. Well, it's Tuesday.
Yeah, there's nothing like losing and advancing to get me excited about
How does that happen,
USA.
That you lose and you advance?
Because of these cockamamie tiebreakers that the World Cup has, where you don't go to head-to-head competition. You start with goal differential, then total goals scored. It's...
You know what this reminds this reporter of? April the 5th, 1970, when the Montreal Canadiens were playing the Blackhawks in the last regular season game, and they needed to either win the game, or if they didn't win the game, they needed to score a certain number of goals in order to get into the playoffs, and so they wound up pulling their goalie like midway through the game, and the Blackhawks played with an empty net on the other end and wound up winning the game 10-2. And, of course, they changed the rules after that because it was so bizarre, but apparently soccer has not learned. Well, you know what? They do this because they want to encourage goal scoring. So the reason the U.S. is in this is because Germany beat, who was it, Portugal 4-0? I believe, yeah. So Portugal was in a hole at that point. And then Germany. So if the U.S. had played Germany in the first game, the U.S. would have lost 4-0. And then Germany would have played Portugal now, and it would have needed only a tie, and then would have scored very few goals.
The most interesting thing about the World Cup so far is certainly not that analysis, explanation of how the U.S. got to the tiebreaker. I know it's true, but that just shows you how painful this whole process is. The most interesting thing so far has been that Uruguayan player who treats Italians as food.
Yeah.
I want him back. I want that suspension lifted.
Well, I say au contraire. I mean, he just got like 9 games. There should have been more teeth in that penalty. And by the way, isn't this like the third time he's done this? It's like...
You've told that joke?
No, why do you need... you shouldn't get 3 bites of the apple. Isn't it like the old dog bite statute in Illinois? And you tell me if I'm correct on this. Your dog would get like 1 free one, but then the second one, then you're liable for the actions of your dog.
I'm not as well versed in canine law as you are.
Well, that was 2 bites of the apple. Now, this guy's got 3 bites. Doesn't seem fair, but maybe that's international law. Sean from Elmwood Park, good morning.
So great. So Grant Park's going to smell like Karen Lewis's office for another day. These morons moved on. But listen, I wanted to talk about that CNN hack reporter who said, doesn't Obama win anyway? The way I took that is because this has been going on for 36 months. And that hack from the Labor Department, that Marxist, Trotskyite, has been implementing policies, fines, impugning businesses he doesn't like. And what's going to happen now that this case has won with the Charlie's Angels of communism voting the right way for once? He's just going to shuffle in another one of these 3,600 socialists that's going to rule against the people and regulate laws as if they were Congress.
Well, there won't be a substantive change right now because the NLRB is in Obama's favor right now. So they're just going to rubber stamp the decisions that were made by these unauthorized appointees.
Well, you're not going to get.
Thank you, Sean.
You're not going to get good nominees for these appointments, but at least you've restored the Senate's prerogative to confirm them.
There was another case, another unanimous case from the Supreme Court yesterday. The court held Massachusetts law that kept pro-lifers at least 35 feet from abortion clinics unconstitutional. And so they will now get to be within 35 feet. There is a Chicago ordinance which provides an 8-foot bubble zone. So that's the buffer zone. This is a bubble zone, which probably would pass constitutional muster, or it seems like it would. You've got to stay 8 feet away from somebody who's going to enter a clinic.
Yeah,
but you can still assemble
It's
there.
been a good run for the Supreme Court over the last couple of days. They've upheld the substance of the Fourth Amendment with the cell phone case. They've upheld the substance of the First Amendment with this case, freedom of speech and freedom of religious conscience. And they have also kind of reestablished the constitutionally provided separation of powers of the three branches.
So does this look like
a bit of good run?
But are they going to disappoint us on Monday with a Hobby Lobby case, which is where an employer doesn't want to provide contraception in the health insurance policies of his employees because of his religious beliefs?
Yeah, I don't think so, and I think they're also going to make us proud with the Harris versus Quinn case, where they are going to rule in favor of Pam Harris and similarly situated families and against Pat Quinn and the public sector unions that tried to intervene between families, between parents and their developmentally disabled children. Could be a real blow to public sector unions coming on Monday.
Okay, are they going to disappoint us next year when they decide that marriage equality is the law of the land? And you know that's where that's headed. Don't tell me that they're not going to disappoint us then.
Well, we'll see if they take up any cases.
Oh, they will.
Well, okay. You say so.
It's going to happen. Coming up at 7:36, we got Jason Riley. He's on the Wall Street Journal editorial board, Fox News All-Star. He's written a book called Please Stop Helping Us. That is, the government should stop helping African Americans because...
No, specifically how liberals make it harder for blacks to succeed.
Well, liberals, government, I mean...
Well...